What's up, boys? This season's Fathers of the Future podcast is brought to you by ScottsdalePodcast.com. It's the studio that I'm in right now. Here's the deal. If you have a story, if you have a mission, if you have an interview, if you have something deep and meaningful in your heart that you need to share, that you need to get out, that you need to promote, that you need to fundraise, that you need to build, let ScottsdalePodcast.com be the place that you can come. Welcome to the Fathers of the Future podcast. My name is Luke Kayam, and I am joined today by a man who has passion in all that he does, including freight and shipping, which does not necessarily go together, but the passion that you have for life spills over into everything you do. Welcome to the Fathers of the Future podcast, Chasen, Thacker.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so let me start with a compliment first and set the frame for ultimately what you do, what your business is, what your profession is. A little over 2 years ago, August of 2023, there was a massive fire that burnt down Lahaina. And right away, we put a team together, mission to Maui, and began fundraising, shipping goods, needs, medical supplies, 1,000 gallons of water, generators. And you didn't just step in, you jumped in. And so let me first honor and appreciate you from my family, my ohana, and all the people who received that goodwill that you were able to put into action immediately. And so aloha and mahalo, brother, for doing that in that time of crisis.
Thank you. Yeah, it was my pleasure.
It was amazing, right? Not only did you find ways to, get things done and move heavy equipment, and literally 1,000 gallons of water is what we shipped on that first container, and then distributed it out to the community across the island, specifically in Lahaina. But you also fundraised. You reached out to some of your vendors and asked for their goodwill. I'm not going to ask you what made you do that because I know who you are, but for the listeners and the viewers, you were ready, right? Like you were prepared to lean in and ultimately, have servant leadership in that mission and that purpose and that intention to help people who you didn't know. And you just got to spend some time in Maui with your family a couple weeks ago. And so I know you kind of, were able to see what we were going through in that time a couple years later. But, where does that come from in you, right? Ready, fire, aim, something we talk about all the time in our coaching program. But you took action immediately.
For me, that's two things. One, Hawaii holds a special place in my heart. My grandmother was born there in 1923, and my grandfather met her there when she was, I think, turning 17. So they got married in Hawaii. My grandfather is buried in Hawaii. He's one of 12 pilots that flew in Pearl Harbor, in the attack on Pearl Harbor. So Hawaii holds a special place for me. And more so, it just comes back to my overall leadership style. Like you say, lead with love. I look for kindness in everything I do, and I saw the opportunity, knew I could help, reached out to our company. They were willing, able, and we made it happen.
Yeah, I remember receiving the first payload, 24 hours after dropping it off and getting on that airplane when there was 5 of us flying to the heartbeat of that catastrophe and having to illegally get through National Guard to deliver a lot of this equipment, not just the water and the generators, Starlinks, medical supplies, defibrillators, medicine, flashlights, solar panels, right? You name it. Like we threw as much stuff as we possibly could into that container and freight, and then carried as much as we could on that empty flight to Lahaina. And so in this last time you were just there in Maui, seeing it in firsthand, what was your kind of takeaway? And do you feel what I feel in terms of helping and assisting a community who needed everybody's help, and the ability to ultimately just serve?
Yeah. I mean, when I was there last, you feel like the land just still needs a lot of love. The people, it's definitely an area that's still healing. And it's crazy because you go to the other side of the island and it's like you don't even realize that there's that happening on the west side. So, yeah, I loved staying on that side of the island, just being with the people, spreading my aloha, and look forward to going back soon.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you again for your service and your contribution. I don't know if I've thanked you enough, as I've blocked out many of those memories early on, intentionally or not. They've just kind of, I've been reminded lately of all of the people who, dropped whatever they were doing and just got to work.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing, and I honor you and appreciate you for that.
Thank you. I was glad to help.
All right, making freight passionate, having passion for all that you do. Give us a little path to this career that you're in, and ultimately what you've done in these years, and where you're headed, and why. Your family's here in Scottsdale. You've got 2 young kids, but you're getting ready to move to Houston to take on a new sales role. And so just kind of guide us through your path professionally and how you've utilized your skills and your energy and your passion for life in something like freight.
Yeah. Honestly, like a lot of people in logistics or transportation, I stumbled into it. That's very much the case when you talk to everybody in the industry. So, graduated from WP Carey School of Business with a degree in global management and leadership. I was working at Outback Steakhouse as a bartender, which was a great job, loved it. And one of my regulars at the bar said, "Hey, come run my business for me," essentially. And it was a drive-away service here in Phoenix. So moving cars to and from auto auctions, car dealerships, relocating dealerships, doing tint sales. Difference was we didn't have car haulers. We actually had 15 passenger vans filled with drivers. They would physically drive the cars to and from their destinations. So Chase van would follow and pick them up. I chased that for a while and didn't turn out to be exactly what I thought it would be. So I was looking for equity in the company. The owner was old and just didn't pan out. So backed out of that. Took about 2 weeks to have a little vacation and ended up getting an interview at Mach 1 Global Services, a small forwarder here in Phoenix, Tempe, and jumped into that and just loved the industry. So much to know, so much to learn. And it just came back really to my customer service. That's kind of the heartbeat of everything I do in business. I grew up in the hotel industry. My dad's a hotel guy. So I got to see it firsthand, how it's done correctly in the luxury hotel business. And I just carried that into my restaurant life and then now into freight forwarding. So, yeah, I mean, I move pallets of freight, aircraft engines, all kinds of clunky stuff, but there's people behind all of that. There's people moving the freight, and there's people expecting the freight. So it's really just amazing the customer in every way we can and rising above the customer's expectations whenever possible.
We talk about fearless leadership a lot on this podcast as well as inside of the Fathers of the Future movement. And it's a lot more simplified when you can talk about your family or your personal life, and harder to not only describe, but to actually insert into business and your professional life. And I've seen that happen firsthand with the people you lead. You are a people's coach, right? You tend to have not just empathy in the sense of kindness or love for the people who work for you. You've gone to battle, you've stood up, and you've fought for what you felt is not just right, but earned in many ways. Yeah. Without giving too many specifics on that, please share with us, what your team means to you and how important it is to be able to build them up inside of the organization and ultimately stand up and speak up for them.
Well, I have a picture on my desk. It's like just a quote from Gandhi, and it's essentially, the goal of a leader is to make other leaders. And that's what I took away in school. That's what I've always taken away in business, is how do I develop people, make them as good or better than myself, and make the next leader that can do my job so that I can continue to grow. And that's really where I'm at this point. It reminds me of the Les Brown story of the bamboo tree. You know, I've been growing underground for years as a leader, and just now sprouting, getting into sales, really coming into my own in that area. But what I leave behind is a legacy of my leadership and the people that I've led for the last 5 to 10 years that are now holding up my operation, so I can go out and get some more business for our company.
And without speaking for you, you're not chasing a job or a title or a position or a demographic or even the income. Those things are byproducts. I believe you are chasing opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And we know this in any high-level organization that attrition happens everywhere. And those who tend to stick around the longest tend to be the most successful. Doesn't mean you shouldn't or can't leave a bad organization or a team or a business or a company or decide to do something different. But in your case, there is a massive opportunity for you that you have been working behind the scenes to be in the right place at the right time to receive and take on.
Yeah. I mean, my dad taught me a lot of that. I asked him, I think it was like a year ago, what he thought was the biggest catalyst that kind of pushed his career in the right direction, and he said it was my loyalty to the company I was with. So he said, stick with it. You can always jump off the wave, but it's great to stick around and see things through. And really, back to the team, that's what kept me through this all. I mean, it's been a roller coaster for sure. We've had a lot of bad publicity and a lot of people that didn't understand what we're trying to do in the industry. But it's the people and the customers that kept me grounded and kept me focused on seeing the vision through and sticking with the company.
As well as multiple acquisitions.
Yeah, 2 acquisitions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which can throw anybody sort of off the path that they believe that they're on. New systems, new ways, new management, new leadership.
Yep.
New branding, new messaging, new storytelling.
Yeah, you feel like you're climbing a ladder and then you get acquired and it's like you go down a couple rungs on the ladder because there's a lot of other people you still have to climb over now. So, it's making your mark on all new leaders. It's introducing yourself all over again to the executives and trying to get in front of that and make a name for yourself within the company and, protect your people. So
for those who are watching and listening who have a young family, we moved here a little over 18 years ago with a 10-month-old son and a pregnant wife. And so we didn't know anybody. We didn't go back to our hometown. We didn't chase something wild in another country. We made a deliberate move nearby, meaning in the Southwest, close to Southern California, where we were born and raised. You are picking up and moving to Houston, Texas. And although Texas is a great sister state for Arizona, you've made a decision. You've sold your wife and your kids being young, but really sold this idea about new and not being afraid to do it. I feel like so many people, especially men in business, tend to hesitate or resist that opportunity because they feel like they're leaving their comfort zone. You are. You're wholeheartedly, leaving the comfort. I believe your in-laws are here. I believe your own mom is here, right? So you have
up in Pine Top,
family close by, and you've made this decision and believed in yourself, your skills, and your abilities to take this next move and take your family with you.
Yeah, it's been fun actually, just exploring this idea of moving to Houston. Ton of opportunity there. It's crazy. I mean, you step off the plane and you smell oil and gas and freight. So, I mean, that just gets me excited. But it's also a great city. I mean, it's the 2nd or 3rd largest city in the country. Very diverse, a lot of great areas, a lot of activity. No, I'm not going to have my Camelback Mountain to hike up, but you know what? I still got customers here, so I can come back once a month and rock out on Camelback Mountain. So, yeah, it's just something fresh. My wife and I have been together for 15 years. She's been cutting hair for 22 years. So she's tired of having her arms up here, and her shoulders are getting tired, and she's ready to be a full-time mom, and that's what I've wanted for quite some time. So it just all kind of came together, and we went out to Houston, stayed downtown, explored a couple of neighborhoods, and we were like, we like Houston. So we said, let's go for it. I mean, bet on me, let's go.
You've shown a lot of fearlessness, right, in a lot of the opportunities that have come to be and the challenges that you face, right, both personal within. We've been working together. You've been in the Fathers of the Future coaching community for a little over 3+ years, maybe even close to 4 now.
Yep.
And so we know that it's not a vertical trajectory of success, right?
Yeah.
You don't just get to be, head of sales overnight. You don't just become lean and do a 3, 4, 5-day fast, your first time, right? You've built these steps and the foundation to stack on. It wasn't easy. And there are days and times and seasons where you drift, right? Can you share just a little bit about that and what I would perceive as this new level, new version, right? And maybe it's not 2.0, maybe that was close after a crucible, but maybe, you're on 2.3, 2.4, getting into 3.0.
Yeah.
You've been hitting Camelback like every day for the past couple months.
Yeah. As often as possible.
Yeah. So what happened in this, right? Was it you faced something in you that you weren't proud of and you decided that was the last straw? Or did you stack those consistent micro wins over and over to where now you're just on a new level and the past version of you, the model that may not have been as healthy or as active or as passionate or as energetic as you are now?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of habit stacking and just changing what I did and focusing on what was most important to me. That morning activation. I mean, if I'm not up doing something active in the morning, then the whole rest of my day is just absolute chaos. If I can get out and hike Camelback and hike a mountain or, run a few miles and do what I need to do in the early morning, it just changes the whole rest of my day, puts me in a different mindset. So staying true to that, journaling more, all of that. And I mean, everything you taught me. So just putting those skills into action and not forgetting that I knew them. And then honestly, before I met you, I was 225 pounds. I started that fasting journey on my own. I said, enough's enough. My daughter's about to be born. And I started doing 3 36-hour fasts a week and lost 62 pounds in 4 months. So I've mostly kept it off. But like you said, life's full of valleys and peaks. So there was times that, things got dark again and, I didn't move into sales right away and I had to weather the storm with work and gained 20 pounds back. And it was like a month and a half before we were going to Hawaii, maybe 2 months before we were going to Hawaii. And I was like, all right, enough's enough again. Like I need to, kick myself in the dick and get this going. And so I just started doing all of the things that I love, really, when I think about it. So starting the morning, hiking Camelback, and if I can't make it there, I have another mountain that I go to that's closer. It's called my No Excuses Mountain. So really not believing my own bullshit is what set it apart. And then stacking those habits. So replacing bad habits with good habits. And I really thought that I had it all dialed in. And Labor Day came around and we were, partying with one of our good friends whose birthday falls right around that time. And I just got so drunk on August 31st and woke up the next morning. We were going to Hawaii on the 2nd and I just wasted the entire day, Labor Day. And felt like crap, woke up, made myself go run 4 miles in the dead heat at 1 p.m. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I grew up bartending. I grew up in restaurants around alcohol. I like cocktails. I like wine, all of that stuff. So I even said to you, I'm like, I'm not committing to never drink again. I'm committing to have ultimate control over this now. And I've done that. I've started writing down what I drink each day, which I think helps a lot. and just being more mindful about not having 3 drinks in a row, having 1 drink at dinner, and then waiting 4 hours and maybe having another, what have you. But I know that I'm going into a role where I'm going to have to entertain, and it's a very, very, pressuring type of environment where there's a lot of alcohol in our industry, a lot of partying. So it's really just staying true to myself and remembering why I'm doing what I'm doing, and what the ultimate goal is. Longevity and endurance is really what I focus on. So I'm not trying to be the strongest guy in the room. I'm trying to be the guy that can outlast. So that's what I've focused my training on, and the surfing helped too. So put a little extra layer of my training on, like, I want to be a good surfer. So started doing some different workouts related to that. And really just not looking back. Like, once you get that momentum, I put a post up the other day, I want to buy a Porsche. I'm not buying one today, but I went and test drove one the other day. So just being creative about how you motivate yourself, I think is really important. And a lot of people around you can help you do that too, but you got to do it yourself.
Are you clear that you were and are the only person standing in your way from being the best possible version of you?
Without question.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a tough one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've always said that in myself, as well as in a lot of the men that I get to coach, is like, especially the youth, right? The teenagers and mentorship programs. Like, once you learn to get out of your own way,
Mm-hmm.
and realize that you are most likely the only problem, and if you can solve that and that relationship with that problem, okay, addictions, DNA, family lineage, all the things that are in us, right? Especially in our blood. Yeah. We can still have will and self-will to be able to say, hey, look, if I eliminate this thing because I change this relationship with myself, and I'm fully aware, and I can extract out 30,000 foot view that I'm the problem. Mm-hmm. And as long as I remove myself from being the problem, then I can face all other challenges and problems head on, and a lot easier and simplified than me constantly getting in my own way.
Yeah.
And that's maybe what discipline is for all of us.
Choosing, one of the 4 roles too. So I was definitely had some victim mentality when I was going through all of this. Why this, why that, why not now? Why am I having to wait, etc. And it's like, it all made sense. Like, I needed to wait. I needed to finish what I was doing as a leader. And now I'm stepping into the role 100% confident that I want to be the hero in my family and in my life. So really looking at my kids, my son is going to be bigger than me without question. My wife's Romanian in heritage. Her brother's like 6'4", 240 when he was like 17. So I'm going to have my hands full. So that's just one other thing that motivates me to keep my activity level high, be able to endure and be the man and the father and the husband that I need to be for everybody around me.
That's beautiful. We'll put it in the edit as well. You sent a picture about an hour before you got here today to shoot this episode, and it was you getting to take the kids to school.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you to not only be a high performer, a producer in your business, to be able to have your wife, retire to become a not just a housewife, but to be a mother and a mom and run and operate the house while you're out traveling the country, if not the world, to do your job? But what does it mean to you to be able to just simply take them to school in the morning? How important is that?
Oh, it's all those little things. I mean, the other day I had the opportunity to do a couple calls at home. My wife went off to run an errand, and we keep our son home on Mondays. It's kind of like her day with him, because he's still a little young, so 4 days in school a week is totally fine. So Monday's the day that he hangs out at home, and I had a couple of calls, and I was like, hey, you want to go swimming? We went in the pool, just threw the football, played in the pool, just me and him, and it was 25 minutes, but it was like those little things are what's important. It's like being there for those little moments, because they all add up. And I have a really good memory, So I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. And your travel schedule, how you stay present, active, and engaged when you're on the road, getting in and getting out, sometimes doing a round trip in one day, right? All of those somewhat sacrifices in order to be present.
Yeah.
Right. And even though you do have travel for work, you can find ways to connect and engage with them from the road, but also do whatever you need to do to streamline and be more efficient in your traveling and your nights out, entertaining in the industry that you're in.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the way my activity in the morning, I don't need anything. I need zero equipment. I like to run. I like to hike. I like to do push-ups, sit-ups. It's all, I tell people I work out like a prisoner. I don't need anything. So that makes it a lot easier when you're traveling, but also just having a little small routine. So my wife gave me this little 5-minute yoga thing that I do pretty much every day after I run. And I've kind of put that into my daily routine as well. So yeah, it's going to be hard to travel because I'm going to be doing a lot more of it, and trying to get used to that lifestyle. I've always traveled, but very intermittently, and now it's going to be a lot more travel, a lot more consistent. So just sticking to what I know makes me happy and making sure I do that every day, I think is important.
All right, Fathers of the Future Creed, if you wouldn't mind reading that and then explaining and describing what that sentence and statement means to you.
Common men with uncommon passions to protect and serve, defend and preserve our family, our life, and our freedom. A lot goes into that. Definitely want to be the weird guy in the room. I was down at a networking event last night and had a couple of guys, talking to me, probably like your size, your health, and I'm like, oh, you guys want to hike Camelback? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll hike Camelback. And I'm like, let's do it. And they're like, why do you want to hike Camelback? Like, we're all out drinking at the bar and stuff. I'm like, cause like I'm weird. That's the kind of stuff I like to do. I like to stay up for 24 hours and then go hike Camelback, and then I'll sleep when I need to. But yeah, the passion to protect and serve, that's something that I've really learned more in the last 3 years, probably with you. I was a weak man. I was just a businessman sitting at a desk that really didn't have full control of his life. Anybody could have come up and taken my family from me, and it was probably the most humbling thing that I've ever done when we were on the MMA mat during the Crucible, and I had to fight for my family to try to touch the cage, and I couldn't do it. And it was like completely demeaning. And I was like, nope, never again. So protecting and serving not only my family, but anybody around me. I have that in my heart to just see a need and want to jump in and help.
You become a healthy, dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what people see on paper or on LinkedIn is only a model or version of you, but you're becoming multidimensional in many facets of the game of life. And I think that's what every man, yearns for, but gets stuck in a box or a container that he's supposed to be a certain way, or that he can't be another way. And so, we talk about growth and expansion all the time as truly the meaning of life is to continue to push your edge, to grow, to get uncomfortable, to do hard things, to have intentional suffering, and then to learn things that you may have said in the past that you're not good at or you could never be good at.
Yeah.
And now
I'm
you're
still trying to get good at things like surfing. Certainly not perfect. Yeah. Surfing. Relationship with my wife. Everything's a constant struggle and a constant opportunity for growth. And I think you look at the word freedom and we think about it in a lot of different ways in this country, but you got to think about what individually sets you free before you can start thinking about a larger freedom for our society. And I think if everybody kind of did that we'd have a lot better, stronger men around this world.
Absolutely. Okay, so next piece, I have a book here called Fathered by God by John Eldredge, and understanding you may not have the same background and faith that a lot of men have had on this show, you still have one. And the reason why I wanted to bring this book is it truly helped me understand and discover, as a man who has never met my father and never will, who passed away last year, and had never met him my entire life, when this simple idea and message was delivered to me, it was an awakening that God was always my father and always will be and is always there for me. But what I love about this book, and it really helped me and continues to identify where I am in my path of life, right? And so he created a very simple framework where all men go through about 6 phases of masculinity in their lifetime. You go from boyhood to cowboy, from cowboy to warrior, from warrior to lover, lover to king, and king to sage. And what it really helped me understand was when I first read this book about 5 years ago, and I continue to buy it for a lot of men, regardless of their faith or their spirituality, because we all have fatherhood wounds, whether we had the best father in the world or we had no father. We have those wounds that are there, and some might be less traumatic than others. Some might not be any. Like I have 0 memories of my dad in my life, except for him being a phantom. Yeah. Unlike an abusive father or an alcoholic father or a great father. So my version of my father is somewhat distorted. But how I grew up and the phases I went through are very clear. And so for me, I was a boy who was thrusted into being a king without the training, without the knowledge, without the experience, right? I became, my mom's man, right? The masculine protector when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. And I didn't get a chance to truly live through boyhood. And then I became a cowboy way too early at 14, 15. And that stuck with me for way too long. And so now I can recognize in myself that I'm fighting to not give up the warrior. I've been a warrior for a long time. Yeah. And through some healing and through some trauma work and ultimately just through timeline of life, getting closer to 50, I've become a little bit more of the lover, but I'm far from being a king again, at least now at this stage in my life. So as I explain that, right, boyhood, cowboy, cowboy, warrior, warrior, lover, lover, king, sage, where do you feel you are in that hierarchy of being a man, and why?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm still in warrior stage. I got a lot of work to do, a lot more things I want to do in this world. And I think I'm in that like full grind mode. Art of impossible, right? You got a third wind that you don't know about. A lot of people think, oh, I got a second wind. It's like you got a third and a fourth wind. You don't even know about it and you haven't tapped into it. So I'm in that warrior mode right now and just trying to be as much of a savage salesman as I can and a strong father and a supportive husband. But it's definitely feeling like I'm still in that warrior mode and grinding right now.
As you look at raising kids, your kids' ages are?
3 and 6, 3-year-old son, 6-year-old daughter.
Yeah. What are you teaching them right now? If you could extract one lesson, one foundational concept, one core value, what is it for each child, knowing the boy and the girl are definitely instructed, taught, and raised slightly differently? What would you say that would be for each one?
For my daughter, it's making sure she has her own strong will. She's a very strong personality, and I don't want that to ever be taken away from her. I think that she's very much like me. ADHD, they're probably going to say when she gets another year older. And I'm like, that's my superpower. Like, I'm sorry. So I don't ever want to take away her will and her strong will. She's bound to be a lawyer or a politician or something one of these days. So I want to just keep feeding that and make sure that she kind of understands how to use that superpower. So I have her under my wing in that way. And then my son, it's emotional intelligence. So yeah, he's 3, but we're working on emotional intelligence right now. You know, what it makes sense to cry about and whine about, and what it makes sense to not cry and whine about. Because I need him to be a strong man too. You know, I'm very focused on making him another strong man in this world, because we're not going to have another kid. At least my wife doesn't want to. I'm accepted to having 2 kids. I absolutely love them. My wife's feeling really good after having the 2. So we're in a really good spot with the 2 kids. So I would say that those are the 2 focuses. I mean, the athletics, but then as far as like the personal growth side, it's my daughter's strong will, and just being able to reinforce that and teach her how to control it and still be respectful to adults. And then with my son, it's teaching him that emotional intelligence, which I think is probably one of the most underutilized, underpracticed skills in life and business. A lot of people have a low emotional intelligence.
Flow like water, and definitely not be disturbed or aggravated by what you can't control.
Yep.
You've read a lot of the Stoic books over the years. Between Daily Stoic and Seneca and Meditations, you understand that is not just a practice but an art. And for some it is religion, right? Stoicism was, created out of Christianity, and controlling what you can control and letting go of everything else. I've seen that in you from a pure temperature gauge, where maybe early on that passion didn't have any control. It just was boom, go, and deliver it everywhere. And now I feel there is a tactical energy in terms of how you distribute that passion, and not just give it all away, or not put it all into something that you can't control so you don't waste it. That practice has taken some time, but ultimately it's kind of carved you into who you are today.
I'd say you're right there. I mean, I used to go 100 miles per hour like I still do today, but it was not like with any intention. So a lot more intentional about who I'm giving my attention to, and who I'm, trying to give my energy to. Because I do feel like I have a lot of energy, and I want to share it with people, but can't just share it with anybody.
Your legacy up into today, right? Tomorrow's not promised, but I'd like to hear 2 parts of how you see yourself in the world. Up until this point, what do you feel that you have left your mark on, that you would be known for? And then ultimately the legacy that you want, right? Focusing on longevity and living another, 45, 50 years tops. What would you say that legacy is right now, and what do you want that legacy to be at the end?
Well, for one, I feel like I've never met a stranger. So I feel if I had to have my funeral tomorrow, there'd be a lot of people there that loved me, because I showed love to them. My leadership journey is very important to my legacy. Obviously went to school for it, come from a family of leaders, and the mark that I leave on people is very important to me. So that's why I lead with love, lead with that kindness, and look for those opportunities to, touch somebody's heart and soul each day. So I think if I had to step away, that there'd be a lot of people that hopefully say that I made an impact on their life in a positive way, and that I protected my family. And I try to think of myself as like the Michael Jordan of my life. So yeah, I'm gonna hold people accountable, but I'm gonna let them fail. I'm gonna lift them back up, and I'm gonna try to make them better than they were yesterday.
And a version that you are growing into, or a better way to ask this is, who must you become to fulfill that legacy in the future? And let's imagine we get to be sages together, these 80-year-olds climbing Camelback or surfing in Encinitas, right? What does that look like? And what changes and modifications need to come to ensure that?
That's a tough question. I'm so focused on what's happening right now in my life. It's hard to think that far into the future. But I mean, I'd say just keep doing the things I'm doing. Honestly, everything seems to be feeling good up to this point in life. I think I need to keep focusing on my health. Don't really like doctors that much, and don't like going and getting poked and prodded, but I think I'm, approaching 40 here, so I'm going to have to do some of those things just to make sure that, everything's going good with the internal machines in the old factory. But yeah, I mean, it's staying true to myself, like I've said a couple times, and not forgetting about the, crazy kid that I was, and keeping that mentality, and thinking about who I want to be when I'm 90, and who I'll be remembered as when I'm 90.
Okay, we call this closeout shameless self-promotion, freight, shipping, logistics, for the listeners out there who are in industry, business. Give us your pitch, your plug, and ultimately how they can get a hold of you. I know you're extremely active on LinkedIn.
Yeah. LinkedIn's my platform. I mess around on Instagram. That's where I post about,
What's
running.
your Instagram handle called?
The Forwarding Father.
Yeah.
So I play on freight forwarding. But yeah, I do my running and my fasting and silly stuff on Instagram. But on LinkedIn, it's very much fatherhood, leadership, sales, operations, customer excellence. That's kind of the 5 core things that I focus on, with a couple of family posts every now and then, or something funny to mix it up. But yeah, I mean, I'm a freight forwarder, so we're kind of an intermediary between your FedEx or UPS, and we move freight around the world, essentially. So it could be a small box that's really important, or it could be a giant aircraft engine that's hard to move and has specialized handling. We do ocean, air, expedite, warehousing, contract logistics. So I work for Omni Logistics, which is owned by a company named Forward Air, which is the largest expedited LTL network in the country, the fastest transit time across the country, and the lowest claim ratio. So we have that ground network at our disposal, but we also have that global breadth with that local touch on the freight forwarding side.
Beautiful. Chasen, Thacker, it has been an honor to have you in my circle of influence and get an opportunity to hike, climb, shoot, fight, grapple, and lead side by side in this journey of fatherhood. You truly do embody not just a father of the future, but the type of men that more men like us want to surround ourselves with. And I'm truly grateful for not only our friendship, but our brotherhood.
I hope we keep making more fathers like us, man.
Absolutely. Chasen, Thacker, Luke Kayam, the Fathers of the Future podcast. We appreciate you for being here today. If you got some value out of this podcast, all we ask is that you pay it forward. You share it on your social media. You send it out to somebody who you know could get some value from this, and you listen and watch it yourself. Thank you for being here. We'll see you soon. Peace. So check out ScottsdalePodcast.com and reach out to my man Martin to build your podcast now.